Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel, your little safe corner over here on the internet. If you're new here, then hey, hi, my name is Kailin, and I post videos mainly about eating disorder recovery, intuitive eating. I try to focus a lot on healing and bettering your relationship with yourself. And so if that's something that you're interested in, I would love for you to click onto that subscribe button down below and become part of our little family. But in today's video, I am going to be talking about something that is really important and very near and dear to my heart. And I know that this is something that a lot of people tend to struggle with when they're having a lot of negative self-talk, disordered thoughts, particularly surrounding their body, food, comparison. And it's this idea that sometimes we don't deserve to eat or don't deserve to nourish ourselves. And I hear this a lot with clients or people sending me messages within my DMs. And so I figured we would come onto my channel and do a listen to this installment. But this is a series on my channel that I actually haven't done in a while. And so I'm excited to be back. Today's listen to this series is listen to this if you think that you don't deserve to eat, or if you are struggling to eat, etc. So I'm going to talk to you like I would talk to my best friend or a client who was really struggling with this thought. And we're going to touch on it in many different angles. We are going to focus a little bit on science. We're also going to focus just on fact, on needs. And throughout this video, I'm hopefully going to be giving you some empowering reminders, okay? So sit down, yes, you. Grab a cup of tea, a little snack, and let's get started. So you clicked onto this video for a reason, and right now things are hard and you're struggling, and some of the thoughts that you're having bounce in that beautiful mind of yours is this thought of maybe not deserving to eat, or that you shouldn't eat, or for some fundamental reason that like you've done something wrong or are wrong to the point where you don't deserve nourishment for yourself, for your body, for your brain. And I want to start off this conversation pretty practically by saying that your body needs energy and nourishment to function every single day. I don't care if yesterday you feel like you ate too much or a lot, which we can get into that in another video, okay? It doesn't matter what you ate yesterday or the day before or the month before. It doesn't matter what you're going to do tomorrow, or if you're going to go out with friends, or tonight you're going to go to a restaurant, so you don't deserve to eat until then. Nothing about what is to come or has already happened should influence or change the way that you care for yourself right now in this present moment. Your heart needs energy to continue to beat. Your brain consumes at least 20% of our intake just to function day to day. Food helps you think, it helps you process, it helps you focus, it also helps with emotional regulation. And so you're not gonna feel like yourself if you are not eating regularly, if you're not eating enough, or if you are withholding nourishment from yourself. There are 4 pillars of stability that I go over with almost every single client. And I want us to picture these 4 pillars almost like a chair. So like the 4 chair legs of a chair. You're with me, okay? And one of those chair legs or pillars of stability is food and adequately nourishing yourself. If you remove that pillar, your chair is going to be very wobbly just standing on 3 legs. You're not going to be able to sit comfortably or anything like that. And you, in this example, are the chair. And so if you are not nourishing yourself, you are not going to feel like yourself. You're not going to be thinking to your best capability and making rational decisions all the time. Every single cell in your body relies on food, not only just to keep you healthy, but also to repair itself. And the thing about skipping meals or snacks or going long periods of time without eating is that sometimes our disordered thought thinks that this is going to be the solution to a problem, that we're going to feel better, that it's going to give us more confidence or more permission to eat later or whatever it might be. But usually what's proven is that it causes anxiety and depression to worsen. And so our mood is definitely not going to be stable. We've probably heard of the term hangry. And it's a term for a reason, because we can tend to be emotionally volatile when we are not taking care of ourselves. Food also helps to regulate the cortisol hormone, and if you don't know what that hormone is, it is the stress hormone within our body. And so if you are eating more regularly and giving yourself this unconditional permission to eat, you're going to be calmer, more reasonable, and also more resilient to fighting against these thoughts in general. When we think of where these thoughts come from, the desire to not eat or to tell ourselves that we, for whatever reason, don't deserve food, I want to tell you right now that everybody in this entire world deserves to eat because we are human. Nobody is built differently. We all have the same rights, or we have none of them. And as special and wonderful and as unique as you are not unique in this way where you in particular don't deserve to eat, whereas everybody else does. And I think sometimes people don't realize just how poorly skipping meals or telling ourselves that we don't deserve to eat can really affect us, affect our body, our connection with ourselves. It can affect your productivity and your decision making. And you are not you if you are the hungry version of yourself. And I'm gonna get out of the body and biology very soon. But again, it affects your immune system, your blood sugar. Food causes your digestive system to continue to work regularly. Your bones need nutrients like calcium and vitamin D. Your skin, your hair, your nails, they thrive when we eat enough. You will thrive when you eat enough. I hear so much talk lately about like balancing your hormones. And listen, the best way to balance your hormones is just to eat enough. That's it. Not special food, not more of this or less of that. I promise you that your body knows how to regulate itself. Okay? But the thing is, sometimes what I see with these sort of thoughts of I don't deserve to eat, it's this idea that you haven't done enough to deserve to eat. And there's this constant association with movement or productivity and eating. And I just want to say that you don't have to earn your food, ever. You don't deserve to eat just because you exercised one day or did a lot. That is not how food and the body function together. Movement and food are two completely separate things. And just because you move, it means nothing in relation to how much you get to eat or the permission that you give to yourself for eating in general. Even when you are resting and doing absolutely nothing, not only is that productive, but your body is still repairing itself, still focusing on digesting and just maintaining itself in general. And it needs food in order to do that. You do not need less. You do not need to have to explain your hunger. I see a lot of the time when we're thinking about hunger is like, well, why am I so hungry? I ate X, Y, and Z yesterday, or I just ate, or I didn't do a lot today. And I feel like hunger is one of the only biological needs and functions that we tend to try to explain. Some days we're more tired, and we don't always explain why that is. Some days our body is just exhausted. Some days I have to pee a hell of a lot more than other days, and I'm not trying to do a huge investigation as to why I have to pee more times this day, etc. Sleep. Sometimes we can get a lot of sleep and still feel tired the next day. Sometimes we don't get a lot of sleep, but there's not really an explanation as to why. The thing about food is that you do not need to explain your hunger. You don't need to explain it or investigate it as if it's this huge mystery that we have to solve. If you're hungry, then you are hungry, and you do not need to give any proof as to why it's okay to eat. And again, no matter what you do, whether you rest all day, whether you're resting all week, or you're just resting more in general, your body never stops working. It never stops breathing. It never stops pumping blood or keeping you alive. And it deserves to be appreciated and cared for, and how you care for your body is through nourishment. Your body has most likely always tried to do its best for you. Whether you get a scrape or a cut and your body heals itself, whether you get a virus and your body tries to fend it off, your body is always trying to care for you. But people have built this block in their mind, whether it's because of diet culture or their eating disorders or how they value their worth. And they've created this idea that my body only deserves to eat sometimes, and sometimes it doesn't. It is your job to show up for your body too, in the same ways that it shows up for you. Even if you feel like you didn't accomplish much today or that you haven't done anything, your body has worked really hard just to exist, and you deserve to continue to nourish it in whatever way and capacity that you can. There is nothing that you can do in this entire world to not deserve food. Nothing. Every single person deserves to eat, deserves to be cared for. And because your body supports you every single day, the least that we can do to support it is to feed it. And I know that it's really hard when you have these thoughts in your head telling you that you don't deserve it or that you have to do something to earn your food. But these thoughts are learned behaviors, and you did not always have them from the moment we were birthed into this world. And if we can learn these behaviors, then we can also unlearn them, and you do have the power to do that. Sometimes these thoughts make us feel powerless and like we have no choice but to listen to them. But if you don't listen and you do the opposite of what they say, then these thoughts will have less power. And the less power that these thoughts have, the less they will continue to reoccur over time. The only way to get rid of these thoughts is to actually go against them. Because if we always listen, then our brain patterns learn that every single time we tell ourselves, I don't deserve to eat, and you don't eat, that it works as a control tactic and manipulation tactic. And denying food, which is a resource that we all need to survive, is only going to reinforce even more harmful patterns and behaviors into your life. Eating sends a message to your body that you care about it, that you care for it, that you appreciate it. And when we're thinking about this from a recovery standpoint, is that every single bite that you take, every snack that you make, every meal that you have will continue to rewire your brain towards freedom rather than these disordered thoughts that will continue to be perpetuated. And food is also just so much more than fuel. I know we're talking about it when we're thinking of biology and things as fuel for our brain, for our body, for ourself. But food is also culture, it's tradition, it's love, it's memories, it's joy. It is so much, and you deserve all of that. You deserve to participate in life, and so much of life revolves around food, and that's okay, and it's so normal. Sharing a meal with others can foster connection and the sense of belonging. And I know that these thoughts might make us feel safe sometimes, or it feels unsafe to eat when we have this thought in our head telling us that we don't deserve it. But these thoughts end up keeping us stuck in a cycle where we're never good enough, or there's always a reason to not eat to a certain degree, or we have to live in a certain way in order to deserve something. But if you only deserve to eat because of how much you moved, or how little we ate the day before, or because of how other people treat us, etc., that is so much power to give over to an eating disorder, to disordered thoughts, or to other individuals in general. Restricting can cause so much harm to the body, and you don't deserve to be put in harm's way. You deserve to eat today and every day. I don't care what your brain is telling you. Your brain is wrong. It's wrong, and it can change. You have to give yourself permission to eat, to tell yourself that it's okay, that it's safe to do so. And even if you don't believe it, no problem. Of course, you're not going to believe that thought right away that you deserve to eat when everything in your brain is telling you that you don't. But if you continue to repeat that, and you continue to practice, and you want to believe that, then one day, as you keep on practicing, you will believe it. You will say, I deserve this, or I have unconditional permission. And even though it's felt false for the past couple of weeks or months or whatever it might be, one day, if you repeat it enough, you will believe it. And that's the power of thought and changing the way that your brain works. It's possible through repetition, through showing up for yourself, from doing the opposite action of what your eating disorder or your mind tells you to do. Restricting like this is going to lead to things that feel very scary, whether that's lack of connection with our hunger cues in our body. It can lead to extreme hunger, which can feel extremely overwhelming for many people. But extreme hunger, or thinking about food constantly, is just this primitive and primal reaction to restriction. And the only way to stop having extreme hunger or mental hunger is to eat. There is no other way around that. Your body is going to go into survival mode because it doesn't understand why you are not feeding it and nourishing it. And all that it's going to be able to focus on is food, and when it's going to eat next, and what it's going to eat next. And it's going to end up driving you up the wall crazy when you can't think of anything else but food. That is such a waste of brain space when there are so many other more important things that we can be thinking about down the road. Your body also deserves to be trusted. It really, truly does. If you think of how many times these disordered thoughts or your eating disorder has let you down or given you a false promise, I think we can probably come up with a lot of different times where it's made life harder, where it's made social connections more difficult, where it's made you irritable, upset, act in ways that are not really akin to who you are as a person. When you think of your body, going back to that example of us being sick, or getting a paper cut or whatever it might be, our body heals us. Our body puts us first. Our body is always trying to show up for us in ways that prove that we can trust it. Your body knows what to do with food. I know that it might feel scary, or the amount of food that your body might want can feel scary sometimes, but I promise you that you can trust your body. Your body knows what it needs. It knows how to process food, and having cravings from your body is actually a signal. It's not something that should be ignored or swapped with something else that your mind feels more comfortable with. Your mind should not be the one calling all of the shots and making all of these decisions, but it's your body that should. And your body is also incredibly resilient and forgiving. Even if you've put your body through hell for the last 30 plus years or whatever it might be, your body is still trying to be your friend. And it's waiting there with arms wide open, just saying, love me, I love you, why don't you love me too? And it's really sad when we think about it, is our bodies offer us so much in life. And because of diet culture and disordered beliefs, the way that we treat our body can be so sad sometimes. I mean, think of the statement of what's brought us to this video is that we don't deserve to eat. Would you say that in good faith to anybody that you love or know or care about? Probably not. And so why would we then say it about ourselves? You deserve the same empathy and compassion that you would give to somebody else. Flip that script. What would you say to a friend who said that they didn't deserve to eat? Whatever you would say to that friend, say it to yourself. And I'm going to say this reminder again, is that you don't need to earn your food ever. It is a basic human right. And nobody has to do anything to earn their food. And denying yourself food is not a strength. There is no pride in restriction now or ever. The only thing that denying yourself food proves is that you need help and a sign that you need care, and to focus on unlearning and unwiring our brain to think this way. And I know in this video we're talking about hunger, but you are also allowed to eat if you're not hungry. Taste hunger and wanting just the taste of something even if you're not hungry is also okay. It's okay to eat past the point of fullness sometimes. That's so normal, and it's a human reaction and not something that should be punished or where food should be taken away at a later date or time. Food guilt does not have to define you, and you are so much more than what you eat. When I'm walking down the street, I don't know what people ate. When I think of my friends, I'm not choosing them based off of their weight or their height or what they ate the day before or the day after. We love people for who they are, and who you are has nothing to do with these disordered thoughts, your eating disorder if you do have one, or whether or not you ate yesterday, today, or deserve to eat that next meal. Your body can only heal with consistent nourishment, and you deserve to consistently nourish yourself and also eat what you crave and desire. I know it might feel scary right now, but over time, the more that you honor your hunger in all of its capacity and stop restricting or taking away food, the more you're going to be able to build trust and safety within your body. And it will feel safe one day, even if that day is not today. Sometimes people feel like they don't deserve to eat because of weight gain or because they fear that their body might change. But if your body changes from eating enough and listening to your body, then those are body changes that you should have always been able to have in the first place. Or weight that was always yours to gain. Weight gain is not a failure or something wrong or something bad, but it's something that's naturally occurring within human bodies. If we never gained weight, we'd still be our roly-poly babies just rolling around this world like little potatoes. But we're not. We grow, we shift, we change, and that is okay. And you deserve nourishment regardless of how much you moved today, what you did today, your body shape or your body size, whether or not we have gained weight, what you ate yesterday, what other people tell you or think about you. Eating without fear is such a liberating feeling, and I've been exactly in your shoes. I've been there. I've been stressed about eating. There have been days where I felt like I didn't deserve to eat, or that I didn't do enough in order to eat the things that I truly wanted or craved, or the amount that I wanted. But you deserve to enjoy a life without obsessing over food all the time. You deserve that because you are you, because you are human, and for no other reason but that. Restricting or taking away food doesn't make you a better person, and it also doesn't make you a more lovable person either. Your value as a person doesn't come from how much or how little you eat. The right people who are meant to be in your life do not care about these kinds of things at all. And every single time that you eat freely, that is you rejecting diet culture and these harmful messages that can surround us in our everyday, or especially in the online world. And you deserve to live a life without this constant desire or thought that shrinking yourself is going to make you better or happier or more confident. And I know sometimes that restricting feels like it's the right answer, and maybe it feels right because it's something that we are familiar with or have done before. But restricting is not a solution to these deep wounds that are going unaddressed. Restricting is a band-aid solution to a bullet wound, okay? You can't put a band-aid on it and think that it's just going to be fine. You end up hurting yourself more. And to address the deeper emotional wounds and needs that actually need to be cared for is really hard to do when you're hungry. And so eating is already a step in the right direction to be able to see what the true problem really is. And it's usually not about weight, for example. People might fear weight gain and they think that that's this huge problem, but in fact they are afraid of not being accepted, of not being loved, of not finding love, of being seen as a failure, being seen as unsuccessful, not being seen as perfect, being rejected by other people. There is so much that is hiding behind these small statements that the eating disorder or our disordered thoughts are putting forward. For example, this idea that we don't deserve to eat, this has so much more to do with how you view yourself and our deep emotional wounds than just food in general. And you deserve to actually heal from those wounds instead of continuously try to mask them by just numbing yourself out by using a coping tool like an eating disorder. And restricting today is always going to make tomorrow harder. It's always going to make this evening harder. It's going to make trusting your body harder, recovery harder. It's going to put strain on all of your relationships. Restricting has never made a relationship better, ever. Trust me. And you deserve to feel strong, to feel capable, to feel energized today and every single day. When you eat, you are showing up for your body and showing it love, and your body deserves to feel loved. It's probably been through so much in this world. Most people's bodies have, when we think of how we talk to them and berate them and treat them. But you have done nothing in this world to not deserve to eat. There's nothing that you could possibly do that would equal you not deserving to eat today, tomorrow, your next meal, eat the amount that you want, etc. You are safe and you are okay. And your eating disorder makes you feel safe, but I promise you that it is one of the most unsafe things for you. Your body is the home that you live in. It is our home, and we deserve to take care of our space. It is the only home that we will ever get in the entire world, and it doesn't deserve to follow arbitrary rules or to be told that it's not good enough in order to just get sustenance and nourishment and care and love. And I know a lot of what I'm saying in this video is easier said than done, but sometimes we just need to sit down and hear a reminder of who the heck we are, what we deserve, what we don't deserve, how we should treat ourselves. You are beautiful, you are kind, you are smart, you are intelligent, and you deserve to show up for yourself right now in this moment, right now. And so if you are debating back and forth, do I eat, do I not? I want this to be your sign to go and to grab something, a bite, a snack, a meal, a drink, anything that you can possibly muster. Something is better than nothing, now and always. And I want to sit here in front of you and tell you that I am so sorry. I am so sorry that you have gotten to the point where you think for a single second that you are not worth the time, energy, love, and care that comes from food or just comes from your healing journey in general. You have done nothing in this world ever to deserve abstaining from something that is so natural, from something that your body needs, from something that you need to feel like yourself. Food should not be something that you bargain with. It should be a non-negotiable, that you eat because you're human, that you eat because you're hungry, that you eat because you want to. You don't have to give your eating disorder or the critical thoughts that you have in your head as much power as we're giving them right now. Power to control over what happens next, power to control whether you get to eat or not. You are stronger than this. You are stronger than the urge to restrict. And with every single step that you take in the right direction, every bite that you take, every person you reach out to, every positive coping tool that you reach for, I know that right now you can make a different decision for yourself. I want to try to counteract those thoughts as much as possible by telling you right now that you, right now in this moment, and for your entire life and your entire future and also your entire past, that you've always deserved to eat. And today is no different, no matter what. I care about what happens next. There are people that care about what happens next, and nobody that truly loves and cares about you wants you to suffer. You don't deserve to suffer. No matter what has happened in your life, no matter what you've done, you do not deserve to suffer, because nobody does. And suffering, it does have an end, and it can have an end. And right now, you get the power to make that decision. You do. Nobody else. Okay, I feel like I've said my piece. I can talk and talk and yap all day, but I just want to let you know that I care, that there's somebody out there that cares about what happens next. And sometimes it's really hard to counteract these thoughts ourselves. And so if this is something that you struggle with, I want you to come back to this video. I want you to listen to the things that I say. I want you to hear these words and try to take them as truth, or repeat them to yourself if you don't believe them until you do. Because that day will come where you do believe them, and I'm so excited for you to get to experience that. If this is something that you constantly struggle with, then I'm going to leave the link in my bio for my coaching. You can send me an email or send me a message through my website. I am currently taking new clients, and so if you do want to work with me, whether it's through some of the thoughts that you're having, behaviors that you can't seem to kick, ways of thinking that you can't seem to change, send me a message, and I do offer free discovery calls. And again, if that's something that you're interested in, I'm going to leave everything, all of the links and all of that good stuff in the description description down below. But do not hesitate to reach out to me because you are always deserving of help, care, and support. But I hope that this video was helpful for those of you who really needed to hear it today. Feel free to share it amongst platforms. It always really helps me, and I appreciate all of you for being here. And if you've stuck it out to the end, then thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I hope that you do something kind for yourself today. I hope you know that you always deserve to eat, and I really hope to see you in my next video. Bye, friends.